What's up everyone? So I come up Betty Knox Park up here just to go for a little hike, take a look around, and lo and behold, looks like I'm not going any further, which is kind of interesting because right over there is the spot where I found 14-inch long three-toed tracks. We're gonna take a little walk over there in a minute. Might have to call the forestry department, let them know about this. Wow. But yeah, I was coming up to go, well, try to get back to the cemetery, the old cemetery that's back there. Too bad I don't have my chainsaw, one of my chainsaws in the truck. But yeah, that's kind of interesting that I can't go any further than where I found those tracks that time. It so happens there's a tree down in the middle of the road. But yeah, that was really weird the day I found those tracks over here. I just come up for pretty much just to go on a hike, see if I could find any kind of signs of activity, because I heard from grapevine that there were some Bigfoot sightings up here and I wanted to check it out. And for some reason, when I was driving down the road to leave, I just happened to look over and see this sandbank. It's a little sandbank here. So I figured I'd stop and take a look because, you know, sand, pretty good place to look for tracks. And I walked over here and man, it just blew my mind. I walked over and the first thing I noticed that there were two trackways coming up out of the water. And actually right now the creek's like really high. So there was a lot more sand at the time. I'd say the water was, yeah, right here where these rocks are, was the edge of the water, and this was all dry land. And those tracks, there were two separate trackways that came up out of the water, and then there were just tracks all over the place in here. I mean, it completely blew my mind. It was so crazy. And I mean, they were everywhere. Another strange thing is when I was up here casting them, a game warden just happened to see what I was doing. And my wife Sandra was here helping me. She came up after work. And we were mixing up plaster and casting the tracks. And this guy came over here. He looked around. He didn't look surprised at all. And he started kicking around and trying to cover up the tracks. So I freaked out on him. I started screaming at him to stop, and the guy looked at me like he wanted to choke me half to death. It was weird. I'm trying to talk to him. I'm like, hey man, have you ever seen anything like this before? And he wouldn't say a word. He's just staring at me, not saying anything. It's kind of freaking me out a little bit. And then he looked around and he looked at me and he's like, yeah, it happens. And he turned around and got in his truck and left. That was a crazy day, man. That was a crazy day. But we got 5 good casts. See, that was like the first time I ever tried to cast anything, and a few of them I did too thin and they fell apart. But yeah, I got 5 good ones. I sent 2 of them to Timothy Renner out in York. I think he lived in York at the time. He has a podcast called Strange Familiars. Tim's into it. He's into it pretty hot and heavy too. He's a cool dude. So he has 2 of them. I have the other 3. Yeah, that was a crazy day. That's the day I really got into doing this stuff. Because before that, I never really found any kind of evidence like that. I never found any tracks. That was the first time I found any weird tracks. So, yeah. This is the place where it all happened. That was a crazy day. It's funny too because I come up here at least once a week to check because we found the tracks. I found the tracks that day. And when we were taking the casts, pulling the casts out, it started to rain, and it rained for like 2 days straight, and it rained hard. And it washed all the tracks away. Because we come up a couple days later and it was all washed away. And then we came up like another week later and there was a single trackway, and I think it was over like it walked down along here into the creek. And then I got the bright idea to put a trail camera up here, and ever since I did that, there hasn't been anything. So I guess they weren't kidding when they said if you want to kill activity, put up a trail cam, and that's before I heard any of that stuff. I had no idea, because I wanted to try to get whatever made the tracks on camera. But ever since then, I haven't seen anything up here. And I check, like I said, I check once a week, at least. I don't know if those things, whatever they were, live in a cave up here somewhere, or if they were just passing through. I have no idea. Yeah, that's crazy. There's a tree down in the middle of the road. Wow. Ha. I don't know. Wow. Yeah, it's up pretty high. I don't know what it is, but I always get a weird feeling up here, like I'm being watched. I don't know. Strange. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. Catch you later.